Hey everybody, and welcome to Adventures with Peps. We're finally back in the world of Judge Dredd. I'm painting up a Mutie. This is terrible lighting. I do apologise. It is, anyway, cursed off jump pack Mutie armed with a rifle. So let's just get into the painting video. Right, here we go. It was primed black and grey and all the usual good stuff. I'm going to call this a Sagora. I found that name in some Dan Abnett book. I liked it. Feels like a Mutie. So we're going to go with that as the Mutie's name. Right, let's kick things off with Sand Golem. And while I'm shaking their bottle and getting on with it, let's talk a bit about the Sky Raiders. So this most likely, this isn't a leader model in my opinion. Doesn't look like a leader model, so I'm not going to treat it like one. So at best it might be an alpha, or it could just be a normal raider. If it's a normal raider, they come in at 5-inch move, 2 shoot, free fight, evade 1, resist 3, cool 2, scary mutant, and they cost only 3 points. That is not a lot. So this one's definitely armed with a spit carbine, which is 3 points, and obviously has a jetpack for 2 points. So if I make it a Sky Raider, and he comes in at 8 points fully equipped. Or if I make it an alpha, it comes in at 10. They're so cheap. They're so cheap. You have to play the outnumbering game with these guys. Ultimately, the scary mutant rule isn't anything exciting either, to be any fair at all. Models other than judges suffer -1 on tests made against their cool stat when within 4 inches. So yeah. Their mutations are purely cosmetic in the Judge Dredd game. You can use strontium rules to make them a bit more exciting, but let's be honest, there's no need to. If you can just play a nice simple game, and have fun. Right, I got the Cloudburst Blue coming out next to add some colour to this model. As you can see, the Sand Golem went on pouches, gloves, all that good stuff. And the Sky Blue, or Cloudburst Blue, it's going to be mostly on the trousers for this model. Now, I do have a scheme coming into play for my Muties that are jump packy and flying. There's going to be a tiny touch of red on all of them. Red is going to be one of the main themes of the Dan Abnett block. The buildings have red, the characters have red. Everything is going to have red somewhere on the model, apart from the Blue Bloods, which is the city dev troops. I've decided I want them to stand apart from everything else. So they're the only models that aren't going to have red. I may change my mind on that, but as it stands, that is how I'm doing it. I really like this model. It's an absolute pain in the butt to paint because it's a really slim model. And as you see in a minute, as we do this dark wood color, it is mostly trench coat. It's very hard to see anything else. The gun is covering most of the chest and the face. The trench coat is pretty much covering everything else. So this is going to be the main color hit that's going down right now. I'm looking at it and I really like it. Like I said, it's a pain to film it because it's so small. It's a pain to paint it. But now I'm holding it in my hand finished. It just looks so cool. I really like it. As I mentioned, Muties are dead cheap. You need a lot of Muties. And annoyingly, with the Sky Raider rules, everybody has to be mounted. Doesn't mean they all have to have jetpacks, but they have to have a mode of transport. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to get some vehicles and mount up a few in vehicles so I can use my Strontium Dog Muties as foot troops. And I'm just going to see how many figures we can get going, because a 50-point Mutie game could be pretty good. Like 5 alphas all armed with spit carbines and jetpacks for 50 points isn't a bad starting list. You don't have any star chips at that level, but you'll have some sweet movement and actually some decent range. Shoot 2, sure, not great, but and as long as you don't actually get shot out of the sky, you should be fine. Like, there's no reason. I'm just looking up the jetpack rules. Jetpack gives you plus 3-inch move, so Mutie's are already at 5. So you're going to get an 8-inch move straight off the bat. They can go over any terrain that is 6 inches or less. As long as they are in relatively open area, they count as being fine. It's pretty crazy. Like 8-inch move, ignore most terrain on the board. The only thing you got to worry about is if you get pinned, you got to do forced dismount. You might fall and hurt yourself, but really that's the life of a Mutie. Now, you can also do the power board option for the Muties, which come in at +3 points rather than the jetpack, but I'm going to be painting them in an upcoming video, so I won't discuss too much about that. But yeah, jetpack, +3 move, evade +1, resist -1, grav. So let's just quickly go back to the Mutie page. Let's say I'm doing my 10-point alpha. His move is now 8-inch, his evade is 2, and his resist is 3. Yeah, I'll take that. That's not bad. It's not wonderful, but at 10 points, who cares? Most judges are going to come in at around 20 points. You can have 2 of these guys for every judge. And with an 8-inch move, you can be zipping around the board, causing all kinds of trouble. Easy to go up and down levels. You can fly over anything that's less than 6 inches. You can outrun a judge quite easily. With a spit carbine, you can be pinging shots the entire time as well, which could be super annoying for your standard judge. Now, I'm just finishing up this brown color. We ain't got much more to do on the coat. Once this is done, a good solid chunk of the model is now complete. Let me just get that. I think we are there. One last swipe to clean up these edges. Don't be shy with the contrast paints. They're designed to be slapped on. As always, I'm not going for pro painted, but I think, look at him. He's already taken shape. He looks really cool. I wasn't sure about this model initially, but it's really grown on me. The more I play around with it, the more I like it. Then for the next step, we are going to move in to the boots, which are going to be hardened leather. There's a lot of brown on this model. I could have done the trench coat a different color, but realistically, it's meant to be stuff they've found in the wastes. So it's, in my mind, it's going to be brown, it's going to be black, might be a dark green. It's not going to be any garish colors because that's not really the cursed stuff, in my opinion. If you think I'm wrong, you paint it the way you want to. But for me, I think I just have like Preacher Kane in my mind and old cowboy movies. The trench coats, they're always these darker colors. So I had to go with the dark browns. But the boot brown, it's just going to pop a little bit. I don't know why I didn't do the boots in Sand Golem earlier, like I did the gloves. That probably would have made a lot more sense, but I'm also going to pick out the handle and the gun because I've kind of lost my way on this one. And we will then move into the next color. And that next color is Hive Dweller Purple. It is a very dark purple. Looks great on Tyranids. And I just had an urge to do purple skin. I don't know why. Can't remember what comic I was reading this week. I'm pretty sure there was no purple Muties in it. Maybe there was. I've obviously seen something that inspired me. Because as soon as I started painting this model, I was like, it's got to be purple. Got no real reason for it. I am going to highlight it at a later date. When I do the highlighting, it's just going to be this contrast paint with a touch of white paint in it. Just to make some highlights, make him stand out a little bit more. Because he is looking very dark at the moment. Up next is the Blood Red, to give me that touch of red that I mentioned earlier that everyone in Dan Abnett's going to have. I'm going to do his knee pads, his belt buckle, and of course the jump pack. Now the jump pack has obviously the 2 engines that are going to be the red, and then I'm also going to do the little cable in above it. And also I think he's got like bullet shells on one of his arms. I'm going to just pick that out in red as well. I don't actually know what other color I would have picked that out in. The only color after this that's going to go on is going to be Gravelord Grey. So this is the last chance to get a pop of color on the model. So I'm just going to carefully work my way around, not make too much of a mess, and pick out these reds there. And like that, we've reached the end. So Gravelord Grey, I'm going to cover the gun. It's a very simple, straightforward gun. So super easy step, one swipe, little couple cleanup swipes and it's done. Very easy to cover. And then the jetpack on his back. Make sure I get the shoulder straps and any of the engine compartments. I'm trying to use metallics more on like my ABC warriors, but I genuinely don't like them on guns. I think it doesn't look right, so I'm going to keep using this Gravelord Grey until the bitter end. I just like the way it looks. That's all I got for you. Right, I will finish this up, take some glamour shots. I hope you enjoyed. Drop me a like, drop me a comment, all that good stuff. And I will catch you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you were inspired.